The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Blind United, or Coffee Time with Blind United. My bad. I'm out of practice. But again, we're here with Carol. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then my brother Pedro.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I hope everybody enjoyed their long weekend. Friday was unexpected. We apologize for not having a coffee time on Friday, but some things came up and we just weren't available. And then, of course, yesterday was Cesar Chavez Day, Julio Cesar Chavez Day. So we decided to go ahead and recognize that brother for all the efforts he put in and trying to make sure the farm workers got a fair day's wages for doing all the hard work they do. So, but on that note, we'll get into the interest groups. Today we got two interest groups starting at 3 p.m. It is the Cooking Without Looking Blind United Cook-Along with Renee Redmister. And again, that is at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And then later on at 6 p.m. Pacific time, we got basic JAWS training with Andrew Del Castillo. And he's here to help out with, whatever issues you might be having with your JAWS and stuff like that, So if you're having issues or just trying to learn something new, come on out. Check us out on that one. It'll be again at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So we look forward to seeing you guys. And if you can, drop into these interest groups because we got a little something special going on in April that we'll tell you about within the interest group. So come on out, check us out, and see about all that good stuff. So I guess another quick announcement, save the date kind of thing. I know it's a little early, but we are having a crafting fair that will be in June on the 21st, which is a Saturday. So if you live in Southern California, in the LA area, San Bernardino area, and you'd like to come out and sell some of your wares and your goods, or maybe you want to come out and buy some stuff from other folks in the community that do crafting. We got folks that do knitting, crocheting, jewelry making, all kind of craft stuff. So, or if you would like a table, just reach out to info@blindunited.org and let me know that you'd like to get a table at the crafting fair, and we can make that happen for you. It's only $25, and you can come out and, hey, hopefully you make $1 million and donate a little bit something to Blind United. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that'll be happening. More info to come out on it, of course, but it'll be happening on the 21st of June. And that will be at the Service Center for Independent Life in Claremont, California. So again, for more info, just get at me, info@blindunited.org. So, all right. Well, Carol, you had a good weekend. You enjoyed all the 4 days off, or?
I did. I didn't do too much. It was a rest and relaxation type of thing. I, of course, did a little shopping and just kind of relaxed. The weather was beautiful, got out and let the sun kind of bathe on me a little bit. It's always good to get that vitamin D. So that's basically it for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got some sunshine. It's been A little cloudy around here all weekend, but not bad weather anyway.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Pedro? You had a good weekend, my brother?
Yep. I had a great one. A little, not too busy, just taking it easy, you know. Watched
Right.
a couple movies, went to the theater, did some other stuff, went out and eat, so it was all good. Kicked it with my better half.
That's right. Quality time. It always helps.
Yes.
Always helps. So, well, mine was pretty quiet but busy. I don't know. It just seemed like sitting up here at the top of this organization is always something that needs to be done. So I spent most of my time getting all that stuff straightened out. Friday, I went to the doctor and got a clean bill of health from my surgeon. So I'm all good and ready to get back into my regular routine of doing things. So that was a good thing. So
Congratulations.
thank you. So, all right. On that note, let's jump into these articles. We got 3 articles again, as always, and this first one is, how can I say this? It's our First Amendment right is under attack, and it's one of the main places where our First Amendment right is supposed to be highly respected, and and so on and so forth is within our educational stuff, colleges and universities and so on and so forth. So we're just going to play this article right quick. We'll talk about it on the other side and see what's happening to some of these professors and students.
Today, we're diving into a pressing issue that has sparked concern across academic institutions and civil rights organizations alike. In recent months, the Trump administration has intensified efforts to detain and deport international students and faculty members involved in pro-Palestinian activism on U.S. college campuses. Utilizing immigration laws and visa regulations, federal authorities have targeted individuals expressing support for Palestinian causes, raising significant concerns about free speech and academic freedom. Several notable cases have emerged. Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian activist and lawful permanent resident, Khalil was arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agents on March 8, 2025, at his residence in New York City. Khalil, who played a prominent role in pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University, was accused of leading activities aligned with Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. Despite lacking criminal charges, his green card was revoked, and he was transported to a detention center in Louisiana. A federal judge has temporarily halted his deportation pending judicial review. Rumeysa Öztürk, a Turkish doctoral student at Tufts University, Öztürk was detained after participating in pro-Palestinian activities. U.S. authorities alleged she supported Hamas, leading to the revocation of her visa. A federal judge has temporarily suspended her deportation, citing concerns over due process and free speech rights. University of Minnesota student, an international graduate student from the University of Minnesota, was detained by ICE, with federal officials citing a prior DUI offense as the reason for visa revocation. However, the timing of the arrest, amid the broader crackdown on pro-Palestinian activists, has led to protests and demands for transparency from university officials and local politicians. The crackdown has not been limited to individual detentions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. has revoked over 300 visas as part of this effort targeting student activists opposing Israel's actions in Gaza. The administration is reportedly using an artificial intelligence, catch and revoke, program to monitor social media for expressions of support for Hamas or related activities. Civil rights organizations, including the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, have been vocal in their criticism. They argue that the administration's actions violate First Amendment rights to free speech and assembly. Legal experts contend that expressing support for Palestinian causes does not equate to endorsing terrorism and that the government's actions set a dangerous precedent for suppressing dissent. The academic community is equally alarmed. Universities across the country are concerned about the chilling effect on free expression and the potential targeting of students and faculty based on political beliefs. There are fears that such actions undermine the principles of academic freedom and open discourse that are foundational to higher education. As legal battles unfold, the outcomes will likely have profound implications for free speech, academic freedom, and the rights of non-citizens in the United States. What are your thoughts on these developments? Let us know in the comments. Back to the Coffee Time crew.
All right. Well, first off, God first says good morning. So good morning, God first.
Morning.
So I want to approach this from a couple different angles. Yeah, I mean, I know the article is focusing on, these folks protesting on what's going on in Palestine, right? But regardless what they protesting about, okay, uh, it's in our Constitution that we can do this, right? And our Constitution is the law of our land. So as long as these folks are here legally, which they are, they got visas or whatever the case may be, which means they're here legally and they're covered under our Constitution. But for whatever reason, well, I shouldn't say for whatever reason, but because this administration doesn't like what they are saying, now they just want to round them up without due process, accuse them of, being in line with Hamas and send them away, right? I mean, who knows? They might end up in that same prison down in El Salvador with the other folks he sent off, right? But again, it's all about due process. Here in America, that's what we do. It's due process. You can accuse anybody of anything, which, okay, if that's what you want to do, no problem. Let's go through the process, due process, the court system, and you have to prove that these folks are involved with these activities that you're accusing them of. And that's the main key, besides the First Amendment right, that they're not paying attention to. They're disregarding. They just want to gather people up and get rid of them. I mean, he told us he was going to be doing mass deportations. What he didn't tell us is that he was going to break the law in order to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I think on the grounds of number one, that, they should have First Amendment rights if they're here legally. Number two, what about due process? I think it's wrong, and that's my opinion on it. So, anyway, what you think about it, Carol?
I wholeheartedly agree with you. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. That means that we would have to do that due process, go to court. And just because of what I say, if you don't like it based on what it is, and you're sending me back where I'm not, I'm a citizen here. So why are you sending me somewhere just because of what I may believe or what I may say, without proving that this is true? Um, I just think it's wrong, especially like you say with this administration. It's been so many things that he's been accused of, and there's been really no due process. But here we are, where you're just giving others not even the opportunity to speak what they believe in, what their truth is, without consequences. And it incites fear, to where no one wants to gather. No one wants to say anything with fear of, okay, if I do this, they're going to do that. And no one's going to come to my rescue. And I honestly don't think that that's fair.
Right, fear of retribution is what it boils down to.
Yes. Yes.
So, I don't know. What's your opinion, my brother?
Well, number one, this is our opinion on our show. Number
Yes.
two, um, is that us supporting Palestine people and their freedom and their place of home doesn't indicate that we support Hamas. That's number two. Number three, uh, when you start attacking our First Amendment right to assemble and to freedom of speech, first it starts with legal residents, then it moves up to citizens. Then then and also number 4, you're equating college students, that these blue haired dyed college students, these pink hair, these kids that are starting their young life, and you're putting them in the same spectrum as a terrorist like Hamas. I don't know how our government is putting those things together, but what the civil rights, right there, we were protesting, we were marching, right?
Right.
um, them trying to stifle our freedom of assembly and to protest and freedom of speech, even to criticize the government, is an American concept, a right. It's in our constitution, and to 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 want to stifle that for a group of people, it starts with a group of people and then it goes across the whole board. And in my opinion, that's incorrect to the party that deprive themselves of freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms and stuff. They always talk about the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. And right now, it's like they don't care as long as it's only freedom of my speech, not yours, is what they're showing in the
Right.
hop
I,
process, you know?
I agree.
Me too.
I agree. I mean, again, it's in our Constitution as long as they're here legally, meaning they are a legal resident, whether they're on a student visa, a work visa, whatever the case may be, they're here legally and they should be protected under our Constitution. With the freedom of speech being, the number one thing in our Constitution, right?
Right.
So, I mean, again, and then when we talk about college, I mean, that's where it's most prevalent. This is where, our younger folks are learning all of, the ins and outs of our Constitution and all this kind of stuff. And they should have that freedom of expression. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so you starting with these students, and then next thing is going to happen. Okay, well, now you're going to come after me as a naturally born American because I don't agree with your political views.
Well,
That's what's next.
there
Right.
was an incident of a tenor professor. She spoke out about what was happening in Israel and in the Palestine, over there in the Middle East, and the board of the college wanted to let her go, and they dismissed her on a certain technicality within their tenure guidelines and conditions and stuff like that. But speaking your opinion, you know, is an American thing. It's like it's baked into us. It's like no second thinking of not expressing yourself the way you want. It's an American thing. People
Right,
come to the land of the free, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, but somehow the far right and especially the this administration has turned their back on the Constitution. In my opinion, I feel they turned their back on the Constitution, on the process of the process of the courts and all that. Them defying the courts. Look, he's a convicted felon, and he's moving like one also, not caring about due process. First, it starts with a legal immigrant, moves up to a citizen. It will start. You give them a foot, they will take 20 yards.
right, right. Well, we
Right.
know he's already trying to do away with, birthright citizenship for, what we want to call, in today's world, they call them dreamers. At the same time, they're back in the day, they call them what, anchor babies, but bottom line, they're, children of uh, uh, illegal immigrants, right?
Hmm.
Those, they want to attack them. I mean, again, doing away with that citizenship, that birthright citizenship. You can't do that. I mean, all that's in our Constitution. All these things. He just has total disregard for the law and our Constitution, and he's denying, now hundreds of people their due process. Allow them to defend themselves in court. I mean, you got an AI model set up to start tracking all of these students, Facebooks and social media, whatever. And, I mean, just because they showing support for the Palestinians doesn't mean that they're showing support for Hamas. And
That's right.
that's where everything is getting twisted up, So again, I think it's totally wrong. I think that the courts are doing exactly what they need to do. They're stepping in, and they're putting what they call them, temporary restraining orders against them for these actions and stuff like that, and they're holding these people to where they can get their due process and hopefully not be sent off to a foreign prison. I mean, he's not even sending people back where they came from. He's sending them to El Salvador. He's got some kind of deal going on with El Salvador where they're just taking in all of our, the folks that he wants to get rid of.
Well,
and isn't that only men that can go there and not women?
no, it's only men. Also, the United States is paying this El Salvador's government yearly over $1 billion to house these so-called criminals. Also, you know what's happening over there in Gaza and Israel and stuff like that. It's getting more serious with the comments that we hear from this administration, like they should just finish the job. Other comments like, "Oh, that's beachfront property. Resorts will look fine there." Also, with the video that Trump had posted with the terrorist in girls' bodies with their heads on the girls' bodies, all dancing like it's all fun, and like a dude looking like Trump and Elon Musk right there, sitting down, relaxing. Um, that is odd. That is already giving us subliminals, like it's going down. It's looking kind of like it's looking bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, it looks really, really bad. And then, when we're supposed to be the world superpower and all this kind of stuff, it looks even worse on us because, I mean, now we're siding with somebody that's trying to eliminate an entire group of people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's not cool. So,
And according to Trump, we're not that superpower no more.
well, not under his tutelage. That's for sure.
For sure.
And it's not like they're inciting violence. They're assembling peaceful. They're just speaking what they feel. And evidently that's not a right here that we have anymore.
Right. So, all right. Well, again, that's our opinion on that topic.
Yes.
So let's get into knocking out a couple of these promos, and then we'll get into the next article.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shot. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. family, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
So on that note, again, we got holidays coming up, birthdays, Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all these other things coming up, different graduations, all kind of stuff coming up. And I can tell you, we've gotten nothing but good feedback on, the jingles that have been created for all the people that have ordered them. I mean, they love them. It's something different. It's something special. You know what I'm saying? For those that have a little tech savvy about them, they can take these things and turn them into ringtones and all kind of stuff. So again, if you got somebody having a birthday or something, coming up soon, a graduation coming up soon, get at us. info@blindunited.org. We'll send you a link where you can fill out the form and get your own personalized, customized jingle made for that someone special in your life. So anyway, I know there's no other comments right now. So this next article is about some changes within our energy policies. So check this out and see what kind of madness we got going on here.
Today on Coffee Time, we're taking a closer look at a significant shift in U.S. energy policy that's causing ripples across the renewable energy landscape. In January 2025, President Donald Trump issued an executive order that places a temporary moratorium on new federal actions related to wind energy projects. This directive puts the brakes on issuing or renewing permits, leases, approvals, rights of way, and loans for both onshore and offshore wind developments. The pause is intended to allow for a comprehensive review of current leasing and permitting practices. The move has introduced considerable uncertainty within the wind energy sector. While projects that already have leases and permits are allowed to continue, they remain under review and could potentially face termination based on environmental and economic assessments. This unpredictability has serious financial implications for developers and workers alike. For example, Ørsted, a leading name in the offshore wind industry, recently reported a staggering $1.7 billion impairment charge on its U.S. projects, primarily affecting the Sunrise Wind project off New York. This financial blow highlights how sudden policy shifts can upend years of planning and investment. Beyond the developers, workers in the wind industry are feeling the strain. From manufacturing and construction to maintenance and logistics, countless jobs depend on the steady progression of renewable energy initiatives. With the suspension of federal permits and leases, many projects face delays or outright cancellation, leaving employees worried about their future. As uncertainty grows, so do concerns about employment stability and the broader economic impact on the communities that rely on these jobs. It's important to view this decision within the broader context of the Trump administration's energy strategy. Since resuming office, President Trump has prioritized policies aimed at boosting fossil fuel production. On his first day back in the office, he declared a national energy emergency to stimulate oil, natural gas, and coal industries. Additionally, he withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement and rolled back numerous policies designed to combat climate change. Critics argue that this approach undermines the nation's progress toward clean energy goals and compromises efforts to address the urgent challenges posed by climate change. Renewable energy advocates warn that halting wind projects could have lasting repercussions, not only for the industry, but for the country's overall economic growth and environmental sustainability. While the administration maintains that the moratorium is a temporary measure aimed at refining policies and ensuring energy reliability, industry leaders are expressing growing concern. For them, the message seems clear: federal support for renewable energy is becoming less certain. This development invites critical questions about the future of clean energy in the United States. Will these changes stall progress on climate initiatives? How will they impact the workers and communities that depend on renewable energy projects? And what role will wind energy play in the nation's energy mix going forward? Are you someone who follows renewable energy developments? What are your thoughts on the potential impacts of this moratorium? Let's dive into the conversation. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
Okay. Again, man, I don't know what this guy's thinking. I mean, other than the fact that, a lot of people on the right are, big time climate deniers, right? But, I want to point out that just in the last week, in the last week, I mean, right where I'm living at, we had a few days where we were, 80s and 90s, right? And then we turn around and go right back into, cold, wet weather. When has that happened, right? All of these are effects of climate change. And so fossil fuels is not the answer. Clean energy is, whether it be, the solar, whether it be the wind, whether it be, adding more water power generation, or maybe even exploring, the thermo generation, where they can get that thermal heat from down at the core of the earth and use that to, heat up and steam and whatnot, and have these steam generators that's creating power. I mean, that's the way we need to go. And for him to, he's trying to cripple the clean energy industry right now. I mean, people that, like I said, they done lost over $1 billion that, the folks over off of New York. I mean, they're putting windmills out over the water, right? That ain't hurting nobody. They just out there over the water, spinning, doing their thing. If anybody has lived close to the coastline, they know there's always a breeze down around the coastline, right? And the further you get offshore, the more breeze you get, simply because there's nothing to block it, so therefore it picks up. And so, I mean, these wind turbines they're making good power out there. They're consistent power, power that we need, right? But again, this administration is trying to cripple, the working man, is, and this clean energy thing. And it's just my opinion. I don't think it's right. I think we need to, continue down the path of, pursuing clean energy. So anyway, that's what I got on it. What you got, Carol?
I agree as well. Clean energy is the way to go. And you're right. These temperatures are it's either too hot or it's too cold, or you getting rain. I mean, and it's like within a week, you have all of these things happening. That's just not normal. I think a lot of things that this administration is doing, and this is my opinion on it, it's dumb. It's like, to me, dumb is just doing unremarkable mess brilliantly. It's just dumb. We need clean energy. That's our future. We've polluted ourselves enough. So I just don't understand. I really don't.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's not, a place, for fossil fuel in our society. I mean, there may be some things that come up that, only fossil fuel is going to work with, right? I mean, when you think about transitioning, from, combustion engines to EVs, that's going to be a long process. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, fossil fuels is going to be around for quite a while pertaining to that. I mean, even within, the transportation industry. I mean, yeah, they do have, cleaner energy equipment. They're working on having electric vehicles as far as semi trucks and stuff like that. They do have, propane powered, which is cleaner than actual, crude oil, fossil fuels. But again, it's a process. It's going to take a while to get there. So it ain't like, we're just going to flip a switch and not need fossil fuels anymore for a while. But we definitely need to keep our eyes on the future and do everything we can to move to clean energy. So, again, that's my thought. What you thinking about it, Pedro?
I mean, number one, I know what they're thinking. I know why they're doing this. I don't agree with it, but he's a billionaire. He's in the business class, and he is loosening up the guidelines and all these provisions so these corporations can save money, do their stock buybacks and whatever they want to do, and the expense of trashing the earth. And you're correct. We ain't going to just get rid of gas or oil just like that. There is industries and devices that still are going to utilize that type of fuel. Um, number two is with the petrol industry. We're subsidizing $1 trillion industry. If they really needed help and they were like that, why we just don't move on to clean energy and leave all that alone if it's costing so much money that we need to subsidize you? But it's not costing them money. They're making a profit here and still stealing like welfare queens from the government, just like some of these other companies like Tesla. Number three is we've been past that threshold that scientists been talking over 25 years now, almost 30 years. And it seems like um some of our politicians got really hard heads, or they don't understand, or they believe that they know what's right and go against what scientists and other minds that are professionals in their field, against them. um the 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 self-centeredness of a person to say, oh well, I'm always right, I know what's going on, and I'm going to take this out, I'm going to get out of this accord because I don't think this is going down. But it's we giving them too much credit that they might think like that. Honestly, number four, the simplest answer is what it is. He's a billionaire. He's just looking out for his billionaire friends. That's all it is.
And I mean, I totally agree with you. We're subsidizing, the oil industry, an industry that made well over 3-4 trillion dollars in profits. Why do they need our money? They don't need our money. So therefore, we should no longer be subsidizing them, And again, he's looking out for his corporate donors, right? Because he's saving them money by not instituting policies where they're going to have to invest in clean energy in order for their survival, right?
Right.
He's allowing them to continue to do business the same old way, and it's just not going to sustain our planet. I mean, it's just not. It's not cool. It's not good for the people. It's not good for the planet. It's not good for the working man. It's not good for the future of our country and of our planet. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if we could get with it and we could, set the standards, which is what the Paris Agreement was basically trying to do. Now we can move where we're, mandating that other countries are also doing all they can. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do about some of these folks that we're not allies with. They're going to keep burning oil. I mean, my understanding over in China, the air is so bad over there. Everybody walks around with a face mask on just because the air is so bad. You can't breathe it. You know what I'm saying? You got to filter it out. I remember, during COVID, I ordered some masks from over there because they had some printing on it that I wanted. But the masks they got over there actually have filters in them. I mean, you can just pull the filter out and put a new filter in it because it's so bad over there. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, and I mean, what we want the whole planet to end up that way. We want, everybody to be walking around wearing masks and, in order to survive. I mean, man, what happened to, I mean, I'm not visual anymore, but I used to love the girl watch. I mean, I don't want to look at a woman with a mask on her face. I want to see a woman for everything she has to offer. You know what I'm saying? Everything that makes
Right.
her a woman, all of those things. I want to see all of that. I want to live on a planet where I don't have to worry about my grandkids and my great grandchildren, and as time goes on, generations to come. I want them to have a safe place to live where they can breathe and not have to worry about, being polluted from the moment they're born, So, and in continuing down this path, that's where we're going. Well, like I said, well, everybody might as well get a gas mask and get ready because if these folks get their way, we're going to need them. We're definitely going to need them. So
I
on
agree.
that
It takes me
note,
back to, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
It just takes me back to when we had these coal plants, and everybody's underground doing this coal and all of that. It caused so many problems with families. They're just coming out filled with, they're black coal dust. It was terrible, and they saw what that was doing, to us. So, like you say, nobody wants to walk around with a mask like that, where you're covered with something that you don't even, when you can have something change,
Right,
invest in something that is going to save people that are going to live beyond me.
right. So on that note, we're going to get these last couple promos in, and then we'll get into our last article. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276.
Quick note on that last one. Man, if you're struggling with something, you know what I'm saying? Please call these folks up, get the help you need, get the direction you need. Because again, I hate to keep pointing the finger. It ain't my fault. It's just with this administration, a lot of these kind of programs are going to go away. And I have it on good authority that this one especially will be going away in June. And that's so sad, not only for the people that are employed by them, but for the people that depend on them, when they're going through something, they're struggling and, they're trying to make up their mind whether they're going to have a drink or or they're going to call and get talked down off the lead, whether it's, having a drink or whatever it might be, their drug of choice, whatever the case may be. You need somebody you can call in those moments. And like I said, with all the cuts within this administration, a lot of these programs are going to go away. So again, if you need it, take advantage of it while it's still here, and hopefully you can get on the right track and overcome what you're going through and before it all goes away. So this next one is I don't know. It's one of them things that, we just don't talk about in society. When we talk about it, it pertains to women, but you never take in the aspect of it happening to a man. So, Anyway, I know I'm a little confusing right now, but we'll play the article and then it'll be clear when we get done on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time. Today, we're shining a light on an aspect of intimate partner violence, IPV, that often goes overlooked, its impact on men. While IPV is commonly associated with female victims, it's important to recognize that men also experience high rates of abuse. Despite the seriousness of the issue, male victims face unique challenges when it comes to seeking support and protection. Let's explore what this means and why acknowledging the experiences of male IPV victims matters. Prevalence of intimate partner violence among men. Intimate partner violence is not limited by gender, and statistics reveal the widespread nature of the problem among men. Physical violence. Approximately 1 in 10 men in the U.S. have experienced contact sexual violence, physical violence, and/or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. Severe physical violence. Around 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence, such as beating, burning, or strangling, inflicted by an intimate partner. Psychological aggression. Nearly half of men have encountered psychological aggression by an intimate partner, including verbal abuse, emotional manipulation, and coercion. These numbers are significant and highlight the need for more inclusive conversations about domestic violence and abuse. However, for male victims, acknowledging and addressing these experiences often comes with additional hurdles. Barriers to seeking help. Male victims of IPV face numerous challenges when trying to seek help or support. These obstacles can be structural, cultural, or deeply personal. Societal stigma and stereotypes. Traditional gender roles often discourage men from acknowledging victimization. Fear of being perceived as weak, unmasculine, or even being ridiculed prevents many men from seeking help. Lack of support services. Many domestic violence resources are designed with female victims in mind. As a result, there is often a shortage of services that address the specific needs of male victims, from shelters to counseling. Legal and institutional challenges. Male victims may face skepticism from law enforcement and legal systems, which sometimes results in inadequate protection or support. Men's claims of abuse are often dismissed or minimized, leaving them without proper resources. Psychological impact. Feelings of shame, isolation, and depression are common among male IPV victims, further deterring them from seeking help. The stigma associated with being a male victim can exacerbate these mental health struggles. Health consequences. The impact of IPV on men extends beyond the immediate harm of physical or emotional abuse. It can have lasting effects on their mental and physical health. Mental health. Male victims are at increased risk of PTSD, depression, suicidal behaviors, and other psychological issues stemming from their experiences. Physical health. Injuries sustained from physical violence, along with chronic conditions resulting from prolonged stress and trauma, can affect a man's overall well-being. Addressing the issue. Creating a comprehensive approach to IPV means recognizing the experiences of male victims and ensuring that they receive adequate support. Some ways to achieve this include awareness and education. Promoting public understanding that IPV affects individuals of all genders can help reduce stigma and encourage men to seek assistance. Inclusive support services. Developing resources and programs specifically designed to meet the needs of male victims, such as shelters, counseling, and legal aid, can create a more equitable support system. Training for professionals. Educating law enforcement, healthcare providers, and social workers on the unique challenges faced by male IPV victims ensures that responses are appropriate, compassionate, and effective. Addressing IPV in all its forms requires empathy, education, and inclusivity. As we continue to work toward a world free from abuse, it's essential to ensure that no victim is left behind, regardless of their gender. What do you think needs to be done to better support male victims of IPV? Are there services you believe should be more widely available? Let's dive into the conversation. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, first, I just want to say that, number one, I think the same services that are available for women should be available for men. I mean, this is nothing new. This is something that's been going on as long as I can remember. I mean, I've known men throughout, my life that they were abused and so on and so forth. But again, you know, because of the stigmatism that goes, the stigma that goes along with it, oh, he's not a man because he lets his woman beat on him or whatever like that. I mean, it ain't even about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, myself personally, I was raised to never put my hands on a woman, but yet I had a wife that always wanted to get physical. You know what I'm saying? So what did I do? I removed myself from that situation. Not everybody's available to do that. Let's go here. Where have you ever seen a shelter for abused husbands or abused men, right? You don't see that, but there's shelters all over the country for abused women. You know, like you said, a woman goes to the police, she has a much better chance of being believed, right? And action being taken than if a man went in there and said the same thing. If he could overcome his ego or whatever, that stigma behind that to even make a report. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's all about inclusivity. It's all about equality. And I'm not going to say it happens to men as much as it does women. I doubt that it does. But at the same time, we all deserve services. We all deserve the understanding, and all of these people that are providing these types of services need to be trained and made aware that it ain't just women, it's men, women, and children. So again, these services need to be available to everybody. So anyway, that's my thought on it. Carol, what you got?
I I wholeheartedly agree with you. There are none that I know of as far as you know protection for men who are being abused, and I know a lot of men who are. Most of them, they kind of like a little tigress, and they're women. But the sad thing that I'm noticing when I'm out and about is the youth. It's happening to where these young women are just degrading these men and physically, you can hear the slaps and you can hear that the guy is trying to hold her to keep from hitting her, and it's starting young. And it's really sad because that is not attractive. That causes issues, but some of that can start from a young man's childhood to where the mother is kind of degrading him and slapping him down and making him feel less of a boy, and it just that's abuse, but I just feel that it's not manly for a lot of men to say that, hey, my woman is hurting me. He's considered or looked at as less than a man when that occurs, but it does. And it should be some form of protection because it causes problems for him, you know?
That could last throughout his life. And just
Right.
to add
That's
one
right.
other aspect of it, that young man could have grown up watching his mother, abuse his father. And, just like a young lady can grow up and see a man abusing her mother and think,
Hmm.
that's part of life. And it's not.
Right.
It's really, really not. So it's not right. So what you got, Pedro?
Yes, I agree with you guys. That it's not right, and in our youth, a lot of this is going on. We in society has built up aggression. Lately, I've been seeing it more these last like decade with young women and them aggressiveness towards men, but also their grouping behavior when it comes to, oh, this is my clique, and they make fun of other women and put other women down. Um, you see that within schools and stuff like that, and bullying. It can extend even to young youth, meaning the 20s, and their relationship, and it develops into something more physical. And even in our society with the men, we always tell them, be a man, don't cry, don't show emotion. And when a little girl falls, we're like, oh, you okay? You all right? Come here, let me help you up, princess. And all that, princess, is good, but we should be lifting up our kings, our princesses, and our prince, because showing them as youth, as young children, how to work through their emotions, and how to process them and filter them out properly, and help even in society with these young men that are going into elementary schools and shooting them up. They may not know how to, I guess, express themselves. I ain't trying to make no cop out for them, but I mean, we don't have set up a safety net for mental health in this country. And even with this new administration taking over $800 million away from our health care that could have gone for mental health, we're 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 putting it back to be a shame and put it under the carpet and don't talk about it. It's what I fear that we're going towards now with the way
Right.
we're looking.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Right quick, Tisha says good morning. Hey. But again, you know, I mean, some ugly stuff happens when you allow this kind of stuff to go on. Again, and it ain't just everyday people. Look at, I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember. You might, Carol, or I don't know if you know this one, Pedro, or not, but like Al Green, great singer,
Yes.
whatever. He was
Yes.
out there doing some stupid stuff, and what happened? His wife threw a pot of hot grits on him.
Grits.
Okay,
Yes.
I mean, something that actually stuck to his skin. Luckily, he didn't get, deformed because of it,
Right.
But on the flip side, there was a family I knew growing up, and kind of the same situation, but instead of it being grits, it was hot chicken grease. And she actually melted his skin, and
Mm.
her statement once she was done, and she didn't do any time, didn't press charges, but bottom line, her statement at the end of it was, "Now your ass is ugly, so ugly, don't nobody want you but me."
Wow.
So I mean, again, this kind of stuff has been going on for a very, very long time, but I just think it's time that we recognize, that it's not just women. As we said, it's not just women and children. It's it's men as well. And I mean, somebody out in the streets that you might think is one of the most macho men on the planet, he could be having this stuff going on at home where he's, under that issue with his mate. And that's one way he shows his aggression, is to be, the super manly man, alpha male when he's in the streets. But as soon as he goes home, he's got to tuck his tail. Yes, baby. Yes, dear. Yes, honey.
Right.
Whatever. Right.
Right.
So, I mean, again, and that's not good for the kids. If there's kids in those relationships, that, like we said, the kids don't need to see that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, I was always raised not to put my hands on a woman, and I always raised my daughters, never put your hands on anybody, especially a man, unless you're willing to have them put their hands on you.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Because it's just not right.
It's not. And if that's happening to any of you men out there that are listening, get help. It's okay. It's not less manly to do that.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So,
getting help is the number one. You know, I know that we've been taught not to hit women, and that is the main thing. Getting help, uh, knowing to put yourself out of that situation can drastically change your situation. So, that warm line and also the crisis line is there for those type of situations.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
So on that note, a little footnote before we leave today, just advance notice. We will be doing this thing, well, today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday being the first part of the month is my NFB chapter meeting, and so we will not be on the air Friday because of that. Just can't do this and get to the meeting on time as well. So I hope everybody understands. And then, as always, in closing, please, please, please like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, hit the notifications, and whatever platform you're on, just do whatever you can do on that platform. It really, really helps to allow things to, get out to more and more people. And again, one more quick recap. We got our Cooking Without Looking Blind United cook along at 3 p.m. Pacific time today. And then later on this evening, we got our basic JAWS training. So come on out for that one at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And man, we look forward to seeing you guys. If we don't see you in the interest group, we'll catch you here again tomorrow at the same time. Everybody have a great day.